For his next trick, the masked magician will bring this ancient suit of armor to life. His assistants wheel out a large crate and move it into position. Both the front and back doors are opened, and the magician makes his entrance. Piece by piece, he begins to build the suit of armor. It is made of solid steel and once fully constructed will weigh more than a full-grown man. This is one of magic's oldest illusions. Some believe that it dates back more than a century. As the suit begins to take shape, you can almost feel the life force flowing into the armor. At least I can. The magician fastens the right arm to the torso. Let me assure you that there is no place to hide inside the crate. Now for the other arm. He picks up the helmet and puts it in place. Finally, the suit of armor is complete. The doors are closed. First the front door, then the back. But wait, the magician has forgotten one very important piece: the sword. This is supposedly the key to the armor's magical powers. The assistants perform a ritual dance. I'm not sure if that's going to help bring the suit of armor to life, but it works for me. When the doors are opened, it looks as if nothing has changed, but looks can be deceiving. The masked magician holds out the sword. Suddenly, the suit of armor comes to life. How is that possible? Here are the secrets. As the crate is slowly brought out, the magician is already inside. And so is an actor dressed in a suit of armor. Notice that when the crate is opened, the back door is opened a split second ahead of the front door. This gives our actor just enough time to hide from view. This simple misdirection makes it appear as if the crate was always empty. Now the magician assembles the suit of armor. Once the front door is closed, the magic really begins. Our actor hustles inside the crate and moves the suit of armor into position so it can be concealed from the audience's view. Outside, our dancers are doing a great job of distracting the audience. This is important because it takes our actor quite some time to strap the suit of armor to the back door. So when the door swings open, the empty suit of armor will be out of view and our actor can take its place. The front door is opened and the audience has no idea that they are looking at a duplicate suit of armor. Our suit of armor comes to life, and the masked magician has done it again. Next, the magician has a perplexing illusion using a standard deck of playing cards. This 7 of diamonds is pretty standard, except that it has a hole punched near each corner. I've heard of marked cards, but you wouldn't dare play poker with this one. He removes the card and sets the deck aside. He only needs the punched card for this illusion. He holds it up so we can get a good look at the 4 holes. Although they may look like black dots on TV, trust me, they are punched all the way through the card. Now watch. The magician places his thumb over the hole and slides his thumb to the opposite corner. Amazingly, the hole has moved from one end of the card to the other. Now for the hole diagonally across. He covers it with his thumb and slides. It too has moved. Now for the last corner. He covers the hole and slides. Incredible! All 4 holes are now in one corner of the card. That's a great trick, Masked Man. I don't know how you did it. So how did the magician slide the holes to the corner of one card by magic? Here are the secrets. When the trick begins, the magician shows a 7 of diamonds with a hole punched in each corner. What we don't see is that he has another card. This trick card has 2 backs. When the magician flips the punched 7 of diamonds over, he's actually flipping both cards, keeping the trick card behind the card with the holes. He takes the trick card off the top, placing aside the punched card along with the rest of the deck. See? That's the trick card. It contains the next secret. 3 miniature sliding panels that can slide to cover one hole while revealing another. When the magician appears to be moving one of the holes, he's careful to cover the original hole with his thumb. Meanwhile, he simply slides the secret panel to cover the hole and expose another. This creates the illusion that he's moved the holes to one corner. And now, you know the secrets. Now for a deadly illusion known as the spike torture. The torture chamber is filled with 26 stainless steel spikes. The spikes are 2 feet long. They're very real and very sharp. Looks like this is going to be a sticky situation. Even the masked magician wouldn't tempt fate with a dangerous trick like this, so he's found a willing stand-in, his beautiful assistant. She knows the drill. A little hypnosis and she's ready for anything. Hey, this guy's good. What's his secret? The assistant steps into position and is secured with shackles that are welded to the steel wall of the chamber. Hypnosis or not, this girl's pretty brave. Let's peek through the window. She's still there, still breathing, still beautiful. Looks like she might be having some second thoughts. Too late. The magician is ready to begin the painful procedure. The machine is set in motion. Once the button is pushed, there's no way to stop it, not even by screaming. But the screams wouldn't last long because the force of the spikes is enough to cause instant death. Good thing he's got 3 other assistants. At last, some penetrating television. We can see that the spikes are passing right through the assistant's body and are coming out the front of the torture chamber. Puncture perfect. The masked magician has done it again. So how did our lovely assistant avoid getting impaled by the spikes? Here's the secret. While all the spikes are extremely sharp, most of them pass through the torture chamber without ever touching the assistant. The spikes that do touch her have been specially rigged. Just as they are about to pierce her body, the sharp steel tips automatically retract into the shafts. The machine has been custom designed for this particular assistant's measurements. The tips have been preset to retract just centimeters from her body. But what keeps the shafts from crushing the assistant? They're not really moving. It's an optical illusion created by the other spikes that are moving around them. But if the tips simply retract, why do they seem to pierce the front of the torture chamber? The answer is easy. There's a matching set of spikes hidden in the front wall. Taking off the front panel, you can see that the phony set of spikes is lined up with the spikes that are supposedly being driven into the assistant's back. As the mechanism guiding the real spikes makes contact with the front wall, the phony set of spikes is pushed out, making it look like the assistant is being impaled. But looks can be deceiving. For his first trick, the masked magician will perform an illusion known simply as the crush. The trick is to make it look as if our lovely assistant is being crushed inside this wooden box. As always, we'll start by showing you how the illusion is performed. Then we'll reveal the secrets of how it's actually done. Now for the second box. 2 more assistants step inside and sit down. When the magician gives the cue, a crane lifts the box into the air. Again, the doors are open to prove that there is no extra hiding space at the bottom of the box. It also gives you a chance to see some well-toned midriffs. Notice the first box is mounted on sawhorses, so you can see that the assistant didn't just climb out the back. Remember, this is a world-class magician performing these dangerous tricks. Please do not attempt any of tonight's illusions at home. The box is now slowly lowered, making it appear as if our assistant is being squashed inside the box. But if that were really happening, you'd probably hear her screaming right about now. Once the second box is completely inside the first, the doors are opened again. Let's see. She's not in there. Or there. It looks like our lovely assistant has been crushed under the weight of the second box. But we know there has to be another explanation. Once the doors are closed, the box is lifted back into the air. When the doors are opened again, we see that our lovely assistant has somehow managed to survive. Could it be magic? I don't think so. How did our assistant avoid the crush? Here are the secrets. Although it may look as if our assistant is being smashed, it is merely an optical illusion. We've cut out the side of the box so you can see that the back is actually built at an angle. This creates just enough space for our assistant to squeeze into. You need a very flexible assistant to pull off a trick like this, or things can get pretty messy. As soon as the doors are closed, the assistant moves to the back of the box and gets into position. Watch as she quickly squeezes her body into the tiny space. This must be carefully done, because there is a real danger of being crushed under the weight of the second box. Here's what it looks like inside. Talk about a tight squeeze. Once the doors are closed, the box is lifted back into the air. Now she has enough room to slide back into her original position and finish the trick. The doors are open, and there she is, lovely as ever. Next, the magician will demonstrate a popular close-up trick that uses nothing more than an ordinary spool of thread. The magician slowly unwinds a length of thread, careful not to drop the spool and send it unraveling across the warehouse. That looks good. Maybe a little more. Okay, that's enough.
A bit more. He breaks the thread and sets the spool out of the way. As we can see, this length of thread is solid and unbroken. Until now. He breaks the thread into several short pieces. Next, he crumples some of the short pieces into a small wad, rolling it smaller and tighter as he goes. Happy with his little wad, he takes it and attaches it to the remaining short piece. There it hangs. Some magic and presto! The wad begins to unravel. The short pieces have been restored into one long piece of thread. Okay, Masked Man, don't string us along. Show us how you did it. So, how did the magician turn the short pieces of thread back into one long piece? Here are the secrets. Before the trick began, the magician unravels double the amount of thread needed for the trick. He then winds the thread carefully into a small ball, mindful not to get any unwanted knots. Next, he carefully winds the thread with the ball back onto the wooden spool, hiding the ball, sort of, under the remaining thread. Then when he unravels the thread he uses for the trick, he locates the ball and is careful to conceal it between his thumb and forefinger. He doesn't let the audience know that it's there. He breaks off the end of the thread, which is actually much longer than it appears, since half of its length is rolled into that hidden ball. The magician then breaks the thread into smaller lengths, wadding them up in his left hand. Meanwhile, the thread with the concealed ball is held in his right. When we see him supposedly attaching the wad of short pieces onto the thread in his right hand, he's really just pretending to put the pieces together and is concealing this wad in his left hand. But then how does he make his hand appear empty? While he is misdirecting our attention with the ball of thread in his right hand, he's simply throwing away the wad of thread in his left. Now all he has to do is unravel the ball of thread that he secretly wound up before the trick began, and create the illusion of restoring the thread. It's simple when you know the secrets.